What's good, Unlockable Character fam? We are at the car wash in Roswell at the BMW dealership. So this is a free car wash for customers, and it's a halfway point between Atlanta and Cumming. So I'm on a time schedule right now, so I couldn't get all the way up to the original car wash I go to, which is Auto Craze. But this is always a great option, literally free to use, and it's completely touchless. It does a pretty good job too. Not only that, it's been raining on and off, so if it rains again after this wash, I wouldn't be that bothered, you know what I mean? So today is Music and Motivation Monday, and what I want to talk about is on the motivation side of things. Let's talk about when you're in a situation, and it could be you against the system, it could be you against another person, but if you feel powerless, guys, remember, you know, time waits for no man. And the world that we live in is advancing so rapidly that you really do need to seize the day. And if that just means, you know, getting out of bed, getting your chores done around the house, and then really applying yourself consistently to a goal that you're trying to hit, I promise you, if you are consistent and you set goals and you actually follow through on what you say you're going to do, you're going to get ahead of 99% of people, and you're going to create the energy around you that's going to get you to the goal. So even at times when you think, you know, there's no way out, or you've hit like a roadblock, a hurdle, or a big obstacle in your life, that could be a breakup, it could be a job loss, it could even be a run-in with the system. Trust me, you're not powerless. With the internet, if you have access to the internet and you can read and write, just do your research, make a plan, and then follow through on it. Okay, I'm speaking from extreme amounts of experience through multiple breakups, multiple job losses, points in time in my life where I thought, you know, how can I keep going? How could I keep going? You know, like, I just can't get out of bed right now. What can I actually do? Well, all of the power is in your hands. And any time that I've had a breakup or a job loss or a significant obstacle in my life, what's happened is that if I applied myself, when I do apply myself, I literally unlock another stage of my life, like the next chapter. And now, you know, I'm making more money than I ever have. I'm in a really awesome, loving relationship with a woman I truly adore, who's my partner. And you know what? Anytime I've ever had a significant block in my life, all it took was putting my head down and really applying myself, and it just unlocked all different kinds of opportunities. But had I just, you know, sat there and spiraled in my head and just stayed in bed, nothing would have happened for me. You know what I mean? Nothing would have happened for me. So, you know, if you're part of the Discord this week, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be submitting a template for everyone to use who are the early access members right now. So definitely consider joining as an early access member, guys. It's $9.99 a month if you join on a laptop or PC. But I'm going to be creating a resume template, which I've found to be extremely successful, because I know how AI works, and I know what the AI systems are looking for when they're trying to filter out resumes. And I also know what a simple format in terms of a one-page resume can do for your chances. It can absolutely unlock new opportunities for you if you're able to use that template. I'm also going to be creating a budget and a credit utilization template so you can keep track of your finances. And what I've been telling a lot of the people that I life coach is, at a high level, what you need to do is you need to understand how much income you make, what are your expenses, what is your monthly savings goal, and then how do you break that into a daily amount that you can't spend more than? Because if you know what the daily amount is that you can't spend more than, you can hold yourself to that daily amount, and then you can hit your savings goal. And then if you hit your savings goal, you can start investing, okay? And then the credit card utilization rate, in this country, credit is everything. Credit is literally like your social score. I know in China they have like a social credit score, which is, you know, they literally will rate you of how good of a citizen you are. Well, thank God in the US we have more freedom, but credit here runs everything. So the credit utilization template that I'm going to produce is going to help people maintain, you know, a good understanding of where their credit is and how to bring down their utilization rates, okay? You should generally be using less than 30% of your credit balance across the board, and my template will be able to help you break that down per card. So think about that, guys. Credit utilization is super important, budgeting is super important, and then getting a proper resume set up and always seeking new opportunities is super important. This week, I have 5 interviews, guys, for positions ranging from senior solutions architect to senior product manager. And one thing I'll tell you is, even when you have a great job, you should consistently being applying to new jobs and putting your name out there, updating your resume, and just, considering that when you get hired into a new position, that's actually the best way to advance your career in terms of senior levels of responsibility and increasing your compensation. The people that remain with the companies that they've always worked for generally do not advance in their careers as quickly, and they do not get compensated as much. So it's really important on a weekly basis to actually apply to new opportunities, keep your resume up to date, and think about your social network professionally. LinkedIn is really good to use. And when you apply to jobs more than ever, now they ask for your LinkedIn URL. So really think about that, guys. If you don't have a LinkedIn, consider starting one. And if you need help with any of this and you're not able to join the Discord, you can always book a life coaching session with me. I do cover careers, networking, and even interviewing, like how to make sure that you get the best possible salary and position when you're interviewing. A few of the tips that I can give you right now are that you need to do research around what the cost of living is where you're currently located, and if the position you're applying to is in a different place. Because if the cost of living is higher, then you can of course ask for a higher salary to match your increased cost of living. Not only that, you should consider inflation. Different cities in the US experience different levels of inflation, and you can absolutely put that into consideration when you're interviewing and negotiating for your salary. The next thing I would say is, when you are looking to get paid a certain amount, you need to be able to ask for 20 to 25% more than what you're actually expecting to get paid, because that'll give you room to negotiate down if they're not willing to meet that salary or that hourly rate. And remember, being, steadfast in what you are actually asking for is going to make sure that you get what you actually want. People value people who are able to hold their ground, and that's really life. All of life is really a negotiation. Every single thing you do in life can be considered a negotiation, and part of that is actually how you present yourself. So think about, how you're going to be dressing for the interview. And not only just for interviews, but if you're going on a date, you really need to consider how you're going to be coming off to the other person. And an interview is kind of like a date with an employer. And you want to put your best foot forward. So there's little things that you can do. If you do some research on the company, which you should always do before the interview, check out their brand and their logo. Look at their website, look at the pictures of the people that work for the company, and you can tell how they dress, what colors they prefer, and you can use all of that to your advantage when you're going in for the interview by actually putting those colors on and dressing appropriately for the position and based on what you see on their website. So just think about that, guys, and keep those things in mind. If you think about dating, right? One thing I would always say is that you don't want to come across as intimidating or overbearing. You always want to come across as, down to earth and accessible, but you don't want people to be wasting your time. So if you put a lot of effort into, looking nice, setting up the date, and the other person isn't putting in, at least 70 to 80% of your effort, that's a good indicator that they just might not be looking for the same things you're looking for. And so dating and interviewing, when you're talking about relationships and careers, they can be very similar at times. Now, at certain points of your life, you may not be working at a job that you truly love, or you may not even think that you're in a career, and that's also okay. Sometimes I've been in times in my life where I was working 2 jobs over 100 hours each. I didn't have even time to myself, and I just wish that I had someone like me where I am now in my life, helping me, guiding me, mentoring me. And a lot of the guys that I've been mentoring and life coaching, I realize that I'm making a positive impact on their life because they don't have anyone who's a good influence for them to help them learn and teach them, how to put their best foot forward. But if you're in that position where you're working what you think is a dead-end job, or you're working 2 jobs, you know, what I would recommend is, again, first is that budget and understanding if you can set up a savings goal. Once you have your savings goal, you can understand how much you can invest. And also keeping your resume up to date and applying for new positions. That also gives you a lot of hope for the future instead of just staying where you are. You'll start to realize how much power you have in controlling your own destiny. And that can be very, very important and powerful in terms of how you set your life up and the energy you carry. So I know that's a lot of talking, guys, but I just hope you know that you always have power no matter what situation you're in. You can take control of your life. You can set goals. You can clean up what's in front of you. You can just do small things to begin with that gives you a little bit of momentum, and that momentum will build. And then if you're consistent, you know, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, you'll look back and be like, wow, you know, you might not even believe how far you've come based on your goals and your consistency. And I promise it'll carry over to the rest of your life in terms of moving your life forward and unlocking the best of yourself. And remember, guys, if you are working that dead-end job, or you're working 2 jobs, or you're working minimum wage and you're wondering, like, how do I get out of here? You know, it's really about, first of all, budgeting, trying to minimize your expenses and set up those investments. And I promise you, when you use a repeat schedule of investments, and you could look at certain stocks and cryptocurrencies to buy, like Nvidia and Bitcoin, and if you're working that job for 1, 2, maybe 3 years, after those 3 years, if you're able to invest properly during those 3 years, you will be in a position to probably leave that job. You might even be able to start your own thing in terms of being an entrepreneur, because your investments have created so much profit for you. So you know what? You can always give yourself avenues for hope and opportunity, and the power really is in your own hands, guys. So just remember that. Trust me, guys, it's not easy to set goals and be consistent. And I'll tell you what, as much as I enjoy YouTube, a daily upload schedule can be really hard. It can be really draining on you, because when you want to go out and enjoy your car, you also have to think about, well, I got to create content. But you know what drives me is seeing the progress, because YouTube gives me analytics so that I can see in the last 28 days, we've gained 4,000 subscribers. And you know what that's from is just consistency, guys. Consistency. I set the goal of a daily upload schedule, and I've maintained a quality level of extremely high quality, and it's paid off, you know? It's really paid off. So I hope you use that as motivation for yourself. You can see someone like me, when I started YouTube, I was uploading, you know, once every few weeks, if few months, and then I said, you know what, I'll start uploading once, 3 times a week, on Mondays for music and motivation, on Wednesdays for wealth and wisdom, and for Fridays for fun and fitness. And I really started taking it seriously in March of this year. And I think in March we had maybe 3,000 subscribers, and now we're at 11,000, guys. 11,000 from March until the end of July. It's absolutely nuts. And people resonate when you're authentic, when you really are your true self. You also realize that you don't need to sell out to, you know, groups that have power or people that you think have power. You don't need to change yourself for them, because you can be your own authentic self and you'll build your own community. And your success will be so much more satisfying. It'll be spiritually fulfilling as well, guys. That's what I'll tell you. Creating content, whether it's videos, blogging, taking photos and starting a photo portfolio. If you're in computer science, you know, contributing to a GitHub and creating projects of your own, creating that kind of thing that you're passionate about will unlock the best version of yourself instead of forever just consuming content. And I'll tell you what, when you're at your worst point in your life, just put the phone down, close the app, set the goals, and start working on them. Nowadays, there's many tools to help you actually with your screen time and making sure that you close out apps that might be consuming too much of your time. So think about social media, guys. YouTube, for me, yes, it's social media, but it's also monetized, and I'm really enjoying creating the content. It gives me a portfolio to look back on. Instagram is not going to pay you. You know what I mean? Just watching what other people are doing on Instagram is not going to pay you anything. And really what it's doing is called brain rot, where your actual brain is rotting away because you're just consuming content and you're not creating anything. So keep that in mind, guys, and consider even deleting apps that you're just wasting your time on. Because at the end of the day, the only thing you really have is time. We're definitely gonna get some tunnel action, guys. Woo! And as you can tell, the water is back. Rain is back. It's a good thing we didn't go all the way to Cumming. I'm going to use that phrase more often, guys, sick nasty, because that's exactly what this car is. This car is sick nasty in all conditions. And guys, let's talk about when you do actually want to start racing cars, right? A lot of people get their start in drag racing. And drag racing can be just a big pit of money because you're always trying to make your car go faster in a straight line. And you'll realize that drag racing is just really for the people with the biggest pockets. So guys, what I was saying is, although drag racing can be a fun start, you really have to consider that the people who succeed in drag racing have the biggest pockets. So although it can be fun to spend $20 to go test and tune at your local track, go down the track strip, you're not going to learn to really be a better driver until you go to a circuit or even an autocross event. And many times the big track organizations locally will have what's called a driver control clinic, where you don't have to go on the full circuit and you'll get professional instruction in different kind of scenarios of driving your car. And that's actually what I would recommend. So doing what's called like a driving skills class, and then starting with autocross, and then going into circuit racing, that's actually the best way to become a better driver, guys. It's not drag racing. Drag racing will help you with your reaction times, and you'll also learn about tires, you know, what tires to run. You'll learn about how much, you know, power output is affecting your time in the quarter mile. But really, it's not going to make you a better driver until you get on a circuit. If you're part of the Discord, I have posted a bunch of track driving organizations across the country, many of them here located in the Southeast, and they have schedules, they have calendars full of events so you can book in advance. And personally, I was really scared when I started racing. I didn't know what to expect. I thought, oh, I'm going to need a new set of tires, I'm going to need new brake fluid, new oil change, it's going to be so expensive. But it's really not, guys. It's really not as scary as it seems. And after you do it the first time, you're going to get addicted. So really consider joining a local track day with a track organization and doing like a driving skills clinic first to improve your driving skills, then maybe doing autocross, and then, you know, graduate up to a full circuit day. And we're not talking thousands of dollars, guys. We're talking about like $250 to $650. For example, Driving Club of Road Atlanta, they have a track day coming up with their full group that's open to guests, and it's $650 for the full day at Road Atlanta. And that's unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. You can always ask your insurance provider for track day coverage for that single day, or you could go with a specialized carrier like Haggerty if you're really worried. But generally, if it's your first time, you're not going to be pushing it, you're not going to be really at risk, but you can always get track day insurance, and I would recommend that, guys. You're also going to meet a ton of amazing people, and the connections that you'll get from the track they can be life-changing. Many of the guys that track their cars are entrepreneurs, and so you'll get access to business owners and their stories of how they started, how did they get into driving and tracking their car, how did they get into entrepreneurship, and it can be really inspirational and motivational for you. And maybe it also serves as a better social circle for you if you're around people that you don't like. Going to events like this, guys, putting yourself out there, you will meet new people, and that can elevate your life into a new position as well. So much mud and grime on the road, guys. Have to get the car washed again, but it's all good. It's dry over here. Crazy. Let's put the burbles back on. Sick nasty, guys. This car is just sick nasty. Oh, what a car. Once the car gets tuned, guys, those crackles are going to be like so much louder. They're going to be like whiplash, like bang, bang. Can't wait for that. 4,000 RPM, if you shift, you'll get a nice pop, and I love that on the upshifts, the pops. Absolutely love that. You can see how random the rain has been, guys. Parts of the city are completely dry and sunny. Other parts are literally experiencing a thunderstorm. Guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you next time.